Anything in particular you want me to mention?
Just get in all my funny quips.
All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll get started. It's already recording, so this will be the B-roll at the very end, the bloopers. Cool. Well, welcome to a special interview. I'm very excited to be sitting here chatting with two of my colleagues at Litmus, and two of the people that are largely responsible for one of the coolest features we've released in a long time called Visual Editor inside of Litmus Builder. So please join me in welcoming Lauren Smith, who is our Enterprise Marketing Director, and Scott Epple, who is our Principal Product Manager. As always, I'm Jason Rodriguez. I'm the guy you usually see on the webinars, on the blog, all that good stuff. I'm located outside of Detroit, but I'd love to hear a little bit first about both of your history at Litmus and kind of what you've been doing over the last couple of years. Lauren, I guess maybe start with you.
Sure. Thanks, Jason. My name is Lauren, and I'm on the product marketing team right here at Litmus. So I'm focused on understanding our customer and market needs to help shape our roadmap. And then once we have our new features and solutions, marketing to both our customers and hopefully potential new customers. I've been at Litmus for about 8 years. So it's been a very long ride and fun ride. I'm based in Boston, Mass, in the middle of my kitchen, as you can tell, and happy to be chatting with you guys today.
How about you, Scott?
And I'm also in Massachusetts, in the suburbs of Boston. Not quite 8 years. I'm just really close to Lauren. About a year and a half, coming up on 2 years. So a little ways to go. But I'm a product manager, as you said, Jason, and so I see my job first and foremost as needing to understand our customers really intimately and their workflows and particularly pain points, because I look at my job in many ways as a problem solver here to help customers be more successful by building products and solutions that can make them more productive, more efficient, just get better results from email. So work really closely with lots of parts of the company, but definitely Lauren and product marketing to help bring new capabilities like Visual Editor to our customers.
Awesome. Yeah. Lauren, I think you joined a couple of months before I did. We've both been here for quite a while, and yeah, we've been kind of working pretty closely together over the last 7 years for me, I guess 8 years for you.
Yeah, we're like the top 20, the first 20.
Yeah, it's been really interesting seeing the growth and all the cool things that the team's been able to get out, especially over the last couple of years. We've been, collecting all of our tools together, making it more streamlined to use all those tools. So one of the tools that we've been teasing over the last couple of weeks and released really recently is Visual Editor inside of Litmus Builder. So a lot of people are probably familiar with Litmus Builder as a code editor in the Litmus product that allows you to code your emails, has all these great features that are tailored to email development, and perhaps most importantly, see those email campaigns, all those different previews and all the previews that we provide almost immediately, so you can get that really quick feedback inside of Builder. But it's always been really geared towards email developers and designers, people that know how to code, know what HTML and CSS is and how to manipulate it to build these campaigns. But Visual Editor is a completely new approach inside of Litmus to building email campaigns. So that's going to be the focus of today's discussion. But I wanted to hear from both of you about how we determine what we're actually going to build at Litmus, because there's a lot of different things we could be building. Obviously, we get a lot of feedback from our customers and users about what they'd love to see us build for them. But I'd love to hear from both of you, I guess starting with you, Lauren, about what's that process look like? How do we figure out what features to focus on? Sure.
So it's definitely a lot of cross-team collaboration that happens between product and marketing and engineering and sales and customer support, designers, account managers. It's pretty much everyone. Truly a collaborative process. We talk to a lot of people, both customers and prospects alike. We do surveys and calls and betas and focus groups and renewal discussions. We want to understand their workflows, their pain points, how we can make their lives easier, and how we can help them do their jobs better. We also look at market trends. Where is the market shifting? Where are there opportunities for us to make an impact? And there's obviously a lot of ideas that come based on all of those conversations. So then we take those ideas and we prioritize them. And maybe Scott, you can talk a little bit more about how we prioritize things.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to say use my magic 8-ball, but it sometimes gives confusing answers. No, I mean, you said it really well, Lauren. We take a lot of inputs, first and foremost from our customers and from the market to understand, the problems that are out there and the opportunities that Litmus could seize to kind of help customers be more successful. And prioritization, I mean, really is just about kind of figuring out which of those represents kind of the opportunity to have the biggest impact. So what's the biggest problem that people are facing? What's the most important outcome that teams are looking for? And what can we do to drive those things? And so part of it is figuring out, what people need and want, and prioritizing based on the kind of the importance of those needs and wants to the customer. But then it's also about figuring out like what's Litmus best suited to solve for. Obviously we've been doing email for a long time, so we tend to focus on things related to the email channel, specifically the pre-send production and testing process, but also the post-send engagement analytics and insights. And of course, lots and lots of thought leadership that we put out there. So we try to find kind of that magical intersection of those two things: what the market and our customers need, and what we think we're best at doing, and we come up with ideas, and we work really closely with our customers actually to make those ideas into actual product solutions. So it's not exactly like the inventor in in a dark room coming up with these features. We prioritize, and then we really work together with our customers collaboratively to make those into reality.
Cool. Yeah. So Scott, maybe you can talk a little bit then about why we decided to work on Visual Editor for Litmus Builder.
Yeah, sure. Like you said, Jason, Builder was originally built as a code editor for email developers, more technical users, folks that were really in to the details of email code, which we all know has its peculiarities and and kind of esoteric knowledge that you have to kind of gain through hard work. But as we said before, we listened to our customers and we listened to the market, and what we just kept hearing over and over again in different forms, but overall the message was the same: is that teams are looking to do more with what they have, and developers are scarce. Their skills are incredibly valuable. Their time is valuable, and so this kind of pressure that honestly that teams would be under, where developers were so important to producing emails, but yet never had enough time. It led us naturally to kind of understand that one way to solve for that is making email production more accessible to more people within an organization, and letting the developers focus on what they're really good at, and sort of becoming more of almost enablers to the other folks in the organization to produce emails. And so that was kind of the kernel of the idea. We also, of course, are aware of the other solutions that are out there in the market, other tools, and we heard very kind of consistent feedback about some of those things as well. They produce bloated, kind of messy code. Developers don't trust them. They don't work with the emails and templates that I already have today. So I've got to essentially make a decision up front to, change everything and go all in with a particular solution, build it their way in order to work with the tool, which of course takes a long time. And we just frankly thought we could do better, that we could help customers kind of realize that potential of getting more people involved in producing emails, and do it in a way that also stays true to why Litmus is exists and is Litmus, and that is that we want people to make great emails and make their email better. So we just thought, again, going back to how we prioritize, we thought big problem, and a problem that Litmus is really well suited to solve for.
And just to kind of echo what Scott said, we wanted to make email creation accessible to everyone, not just coders like Builder previously was built for, but not just email creation, on-brand, error-free, great emails, which definitely is not easy. And this really enables our customers to do more with less, get the most of their existing resources, and that's definitely never more important than it is today with all of restricted budgets and uncertain economies and just the absolute craziness that is the world right now.
Yeah, for sure. I like that a lot. And one of the things that I've kind of seen, I know Scott, you did, well, both of you did like some cool presentations internally about some of the stuff that's going on under the hood of Visual Editor and Builder. And you mentioned, just a minute ago about how we've seen other tools kind of bloat code or it might mess with things a little bit, and that's so hard to deal with as an email developer because email clients are so finicky and it's so specific about how your code needs to be written that a lot of emails will break if that visual editor or that WYSIWYG editor is doing anything funky to it. So I know there's a lot of cool stuff going on kind of under the hood. So maybe Scott, you could give us some insight into how we actually went about building Visual Editor and what are some of those cool things that make Visual Editor inside of Builder special.
Yeah. We did what we always do in terms of listening to our customers, working with them, as I said before, to kind of collaboratively find the right solution. And a lot of it was just taking what I just mentioned before, and you were touching on, Jason, of the things we didn't want to do, and kind of flipping that around, saying, okay, well then we're not going to make it produce bloated, bad code. Not only for the reasons of that can create problems with rendering, which is obviously a big concern, but also just because we knew that for us to get this right, email developers had to be able to trust the tool and understand that if they're going to enable more folks to build email within an organization, then they're going to be they're essentially the inputs to the system, right? They're creating the templates and the components that folks are going to build with, kind of creating the Lego blocks. And, for us to then go in and manipulate those things and change them, just wasn't what we wanted to be doing. So we took kind of that as one principle, and we also just felt like it had to be easy to use, and it had to be easy to use right away. Like there's no reason we feel that that someone should have to rewrite all their templates, just to make something work for a visual editor. Teams using Litmus have spent a lot of time, energy, money building great looking emails that perform well, that they've tested across email clients for rendering issues. So the last thing we want to do is force them to redo all that. And so the approach we really took, and this is where some of the kind of under the hood engineering details are fun to dig into. Probably I'm not the best person to give all of the spiel on that, but it essentially meant that there would have been a much easier path for us from an engineering and product building standpoint, in that if we had done something that required kind of proprietary Litmus markup or syntax, or that just had a bunch of pre-built components that people could use, that would have been the easier path, frankly. We took the harder path because we thought it would be easier on our customers, which is to basically take what you have, your templates, your emails, your modular components, and make sure that our editor would just work with those things and that would do the right thing without changing the code. It would change the content that's being edited, but not the underlying code of the email. And so, so that was big for us. And we also believed in doing that, we could create a nice opportunity for what we really think is the best way to do things, which is for collaboration to happen between developers and non-developers by honoring the code that is underneath the email. That meant that a developer could hop in, edit the code. Someone on the visual side could hop in and make content edits, and they could go back and forth. And many tools in the market just don't allow you to do that because it's so locked into a particular kind of proprietary way of doing things, which creates those restrictions. So those were kind of our guiding principles, and we spent a lot of time just talking to customers, testing with them, listening to them, iterating, and we have the visual editor out there now as the end product.
Yeah, I remember seeing the first couple of times I encountered it, and you can just kind of pop a template in there and switch over to Visual Editor and start editing whatever it is without having to worry about template languages or proprietary markup. Was kind of mind-blowing because that's not something that we've really seen out in the wild. Everybody's kind of having to code for their specific ESP or whatever tools they happen to be using, which is good and bad, but it's nice having something where people can just pop in, and put whatever code they're working on in there, whatever templates they already have, and open it up to anybody to start using that visual editor. That begs the question, though. One of the things we've heard a little bit is developers getting worried about whether or not this kind of makes them redundant. You could have a copywriter or marketer just grab some code from somewhere, pop it into a visual editor, and just completely bypass the development portion of it. So that's something we obviously thought about. We've talked to people about. But maybe, from your point of views, why do developers not need to worry about visual editor taking their jobs? And why is it really a tool that's meant for both developers as well as non-developers to make collaboration easier?
Sure, I can jump in here. We've definitely heard from a few wary developers during beta and just initial customer calls. Not only are they scared about the messy code component, which we already discussed, but yeah, is this going to make their jobs redundant? And that is entirely not the case at all. Developers are tasked with the critical task of building great bulletproof on-brand emails that deliver really important messages to subscribers. And most of the time, the emails they're building are reusing existing templates or bits of codes from previous emails that have been created. And the process is pretty manual and repetitive. It involves a lot of searching through files and copying and pasting code. It's honestly a pretty inefficient process. That's what we hear from a lot of our developers we talk to, and doesn't leave much room for them where their expertise lies, which is in driving innovation and conversions. So with a tool like Visual Editor, developers can empower non-coders on their team to utilize the carefully built templates that they've already created to build emails. It not only helps scale output, but it gives developers time to focus on more important things like creating new templates and updating existing ones, or keeping templates up to date, because God knows how often a new email client is introduced or updated, or a client drops support for something. It gives them time to create one-off creative builds for major campaigns like a product launch. And then it allows them to go deeper with testing, dynamic content, automation, all which really help drive conversion. So if anything, it elevates their job and definitely does not make it redundant. It should be an exciting tool for developers to use. And once developers started using it during the beta, the ones that were wary, I think that we won them over, which is exciting.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, I can't tell you how many times talking with an email developer, Litmus customer, we'll hear things like, next year or next quarter, we're really trying to do more with, bringing interactive elements into our email, or doing more with dynamic content, or improving how we segment our customer lists. And these are the things that they always get pushed off. Everyone wants to be doing them, but the day-to-day always kind of sucks you back in. And we just think, that's the stuff that email developers really should be working on and doing to kind of really up level their email programs and drive more results for their organizations. And so, if we can kind of help them offload some of the more repetitive work that Lauren was talking about, that's our goal, really. I mean, it's to make them really make their value shine, rather than just kind of being on the production line of yet another kind of templated email.
Yeah, that's what I really like is, I feel bad that I don't do as much email development these days as I once did. But I remember having to do a lot of that just tedious stuff. Like it's copying and pasting from docs into your template. It's just making those really small adjustments that take a lot of time, and it's super time consuming, super tedious, and not fun to do from a development perspective. So I love this tool in that it frees developers from having to do that really tedious stuff, lets them focus on, one-off bespoke emails for special events, focusing on interactivity and all that kind of cool stuff that they would love to be able to do if they had time. It gives them that time now. One of the things I like too is that as, just a run-of-the-mill marketer, like copywriter, you can go into that template and test out your copy and stuff directly in that campaign, as opposed to writing it completely out of context of the design and the visual aspect of the campaign in like a Word doc or something like that. So you can really do a much better job of kind of tailoring your content to where it's actually going to be delivered. That stuff's awesome. I've seen it in action. It's brilliant. I think a lot of people are really going to love it. But what are some of the use cases that you've seen some of our customers using Visual Editor for? And what are some of the ideas that people should start implementing when they start getting their hands on Visual Editor?
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, it's a lot of the best use cases are some of the kind of the bread and butter of email programs, right? It's the stuff that's recurring, pretty templated, frankly, but recurring and really important. So just because we talk about it being repetitive to build something doesn't mean that it's not an important component of your email program and driving results. It's just that producing those emails isn't necessarily something that takes a developer's skill set to do on a regular basis. So some of these things are recurring newsletters, right? Content promotions that typically follow, a similar, whether they be ebooks or white papers, that sort of thing that may often have a very templated kind of look and feel to them. Webinar and in a pre-2020 world, I guess, event invites, those things as well. Transactional emails, even, right? Things that as a product manager, if I'm adding a new workflow or feature to my product, and there's a need for a transactional email, being able to produce that, which are always very highly templated. Any of these things really where the importance of them is in the recurring nature, they drive engagement, but they don't necessarily differ a lot from one mailing to the next in terms of the structure and the layout of the template. All that's changing is the content. I mean, in our state of email survey, we asked questions about this and learned from folks that I think upwards of 40% of emails fall into this category of really, it's the producing the email is taking the template or taking the last newsletter you sent, right, and putting new content into it. And so 40% of what a team's producing, if that can be brought to the marketers and content folks, and the email developers can take that time and put it into the innovation and driving, new types of templates and new types of content modules, then we think that that's just a great outcome for everyone.
Another great use case is for quick feedback and edits. Whenever we do our state of emails, email workflows report, reviews and approvals is always one of the longest steps in the production process. And Visual Editor helps make this process way faster. This is actually a use case that I can relate to personally. For example, when product release emails go out and they're shared with me in Proof and I'm going through them, if I see a call to action button that needs to be updated, I can easily just hop right over to Visual Editor and make the change myself without having to touch code or worry about breaking anything. It makes that process so much faster. And another use case is for internal communications, like an HR newsletter or an internal systems update. These communications are key to ensuring everyone internally is on the same page, but with so many competing priorities, especially ones that are revenue generating, this is the perfect example of something that could be offloaded to a non-developer.
Yeah, for sure. So it's been out for a little while now. It's been in beta for obviously longer than that as we kick the tires and make sure everything's working as it should. What have you heard from customers that have started adopting Visual Editor, and what kind of advantages or benefits are they seeing, and just what are they saying about it?
Yeah, so we did run a beta for a number of months, so we've been getting feedback all along the way. I mean, folks have been happy with it. We've been really excited to hear their feedback and hear some of the success stories. I mean, the overall themes were what we were hoping to hear, right? Like, this is intuitive and easy. No one had to read a manual or watch a video to figure out how to use it, which was a big part of what we were going for, is be able to bring new folks into Litmus and into producing emails without having to spend a lot of time training them or getting them set up. So folks were just jumping right in and finding it easy to use, and then of course that's helping developers to offload and enable others to do some of those email builds, and so that's helping to scale email development. And I know, Lauren, I think we both talked with a customer who had a very specific use case that they had seen some pretty significant time savings for.
Yeah, Joe Savage, who's the marketing director over at Altos Agency, has a use case and a stat that I personally was very happy to have to use in our launch materials was that using Visual Editor, they cut production time on one of their templated sends from 2 hours to 30 minutes, which saves them 75% of critical time that you can focus on more revenue generating tasks. Just imagine having an hour and a half back for every single email that you're producing. That's pretty awesome. So I was really excited to see that stat and hear that use case when we were chatting with him.
Yeah, that's huge. I think I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's something from our state of email research that we do where it takes, a week or something equivalent for a single campaign to get produced. And a lot of the time it's just that kind of tedious and back and forth stuff and things that could really be cut down. So that's kind of mind blowing to see a stat like that is you're cutting that much time in producing one of your campaigns. And that's time that can be spent elsewhere on more important things and making all of your emails more valuable instead of just that one. So I'd love to hear what personally you're most excited about when it comes to Visual Editor. So Lauren, we'll let you go first. What's really exciting you about Visual Editor? Getting it out there.
I'm going to give a personal one and why I'm personally excited about it. I used Litmus back at a previous job. In 2011, I was using our ESP's awful, clunky editor to update existing templates that have been created. Then I'd test them in Litmus and then find an issue, would bring it back to my ESP, make the edits there, yada, yada, yada. Everyone knows that game and it's not fun at all. Visual Editor empowers people like me who are not super comfortable with code at all, and I would be terrified of breaking something that our email team has created. And it allows people like me to build awesome emails without risking breaking anything. And then the other great part is that it's integrated with all of our other tools. So it's not just building in there, but you can quickly test to make sure everything works properly, loop in others for feedback, analyze results post-send. It really makes Litmus the one-stop shop for email creation, regardless of your technical skills, and that's really exciting.
How about you, Scott?
Well, I'm excited for Lauren first and foremost. No, but and all the Laurens out there. Seriously, everything we do at Litmus, it goes back to try and make email better. And I've got the shirt on. I love email. We love email. And so we want more people to love email and to realize the power of email. And we see that as a big advantage here. So the more we can get a diverse set of people and more people within organizations to be seeing the value of email and actually getting hands-on with email, then we're doing our job. And so I'm really excited about Visual Editor's potential for that. As a product person, I'll give my own personal selfish side of this too. I'm just really excited with all the stuff that we have coming too. I mean, this is kind of step one is this initial release, but we've got some pretty exciting plans and in the works, and just really amped up to work with the team to build those and bring them to our customers as well.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I feel like it should go without saying that this was a big team effort from the Litmus team, and a lot of people involved from, both marketing and product, our engineers, our designers, everybody kind of helping test things in our email team. I just want to thank both of you for all of the awesome work on this, and the Litmus team for being able to come up with amazing things like this and get them out into the hands of our customers, because I know a lot of people just talking to them, whether it's through the Email Geek Slack channel or Twitter or whatever, they've been really impressed with Visual Editor and everything we've been releasing lately, which is amazing to hear and, makes our job that much better hearing that kind of feedback. But yeah, it's a huge team effort, and, you guys have all done amazing work so far. And I'm really excited to see some of the cool features that you have planned too, because this one kind of took my breath away a little bit when I first started seeing it in action, playing around with it. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds for Litmus and Builder in particular. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Just, I think we've all used the word excited about 100 times in the last five minutes, but I'm really excited about these updates. I hope our customers are too. Like Jason said in the beginning, these features are, the Visual Editor is available for all of our customers and all of our plan types in our trial. And we're always looking for feedback. So we have a feedback button in the app, hello@litmus.com, tweet us. We want to hear any and all feedback. Just really excited about it.
Yeah, and if you liked hearing us talk, you can hear us talk some more. We've got a customer webinar coming up on August the 11th, and actually Altos agency Joe Savage that Lauren mentioned earlier will be joining us for that to talk about his experience with Visual Editor. We've also got a week after that, August the 18th, as our Litmus Live session, where I know, Jason, you'll be talking about templates, and I'll get to join you to talk a little bit about what we've been doing in the product related to that. So yeah, looking forward. I mean, join us live for those, or catch the recordings. That's the beauty of the Litmus Live everywhere this year. So looking forward to those.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat about templates and how one of our customers has been using Visual Editor on Litmus Live Day on the 18th to get kind of an inside look on their workflow and their process and just what it's enabled their team to do and really scale out their production of email campaigns. That'll be fun. But yeah, if you're watching this, listening to this, feel free to check out Visual Editor inside of Litmus Builder. It's available to all of our customers today. You can go to litmus.com to learn more about all of our features. I know we have a blog post up on litmus.com/blog that goes into Visual Editor and some of the new features in our Q3 release. So definitely check out those resources, and we'd love to hear your feedback on Visual Editor or really anything else Litmus related for that matter. You can always reach us at hello@litmus.com. But thank you so much, Lauren and Scott, for this chat about Visual Editor. Again, it's been amazing to watch this product evolve over time and finally see it out in the wild and people putting it to work and making their email creation that much easier. So I appreciate the inside scoop and all of your thoughts on Visual Editor, and hopefully we can do this again sometime soon.
Definitely. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, cheers.